All right, good evening and welcome to our second half of our doubleheader for college basketball tonight here on HiramTerriers.com. Tonight, it's the Hiram men taking on the Wabash men. And as you go back to the opening weekend of January, it was a double overtime game in Indiana where Wabash came out on top of our Hiram Terriers 89-78. When you look at Wabash overall, 7-5, 12-7 in the North Coast, 12-7 overall, 7-5 in the North Coast Athletic Conference. For Hiram, it's a 3-9 record in conference play, 9-10 overall. It was a terrific start, by the way, for the Hiram team, the men's team, to open up the season as they won their first 5 basketball games. And at one point, they were 6-1. But they've had a tough time since the calendar year turned to 15. And right now stand at 9-10 overall. Looking at the starting lineup for Wittenberg, they'll go with Daniel Pervilsis. Sorry about that. Pervilsis. And he is kind of a do-everything player for this basketball team. Pervilsis is one of the top shooters in Division III basketball. Pervilsis is shooting 67% from the floor on the season. That's number 3 in all of Division III. Kyle Anton is one of the guard spots. Also Casey Edding is a guard. Then you also have in the starting lineup for them is, looks to be Marcus Kamaroth, a junior, 6'9", replacing Schofield. Daniel Schofield is out with an injury tonight. So Marcus Kamaroth, junior center, in the starting lineup for Wabash. When you look at our Hiram Terriers, J.J. Woodson is our leading scorer. Woodson is at 18.6 points per basketball game. Also in the starting lineup tonight is Kyle Deckard. Austin Recolt in the starting lineup for us tonight. Also in there is one of our top rebounders, and that is Jeremiah Thomas. And then the freshman who's done a nice job for us on the glass and scoring, and that's Kelvin Jones, a 6'5" freshman from Sheffield Lake. So our starting lineup again, it is Recolt and Jones, Thomas, Woodson, rounding out the starting lineup for our Hiram Terriers. I do see J.J. Harrington down with a boot on his left foot, so doesn't look like he'll be seeing any action tonight. Wabash will wear the red tonight, while Hiram will wear the red, white, and blue uniforms. And very unique how their pants are white in the front, but blue in the back. But the jerseys are white all around with red trim on the shoulders. Also in the starting lineup tonight is senior Josh Edmondson. So Edmondson, Woodson, Thomas. Also in there it's Austin Recolt and Calvin Jones. Wabash will move right to left here in the first half of play. And Pervilsis will jump center against Thomas, and Pervilsis wins the tip. And Wabash will come right to left with a basketball. Out front with a basketball as is Anton. Lobs it low, Kamaroth, catch back door, shot is blocked, but a personal foul is picked up. Kamaroth goes 6'9". He's a big fella, and he'll go line left. Free throws for Wabash right away. Kamaroth is shooting 68% from the free throw line, and he'll go line left. And the first shot is up. Foul, by the way, Kelvin Jones. We can't afford tonight, with all this tall timber of Wabash, for him to get in foul trouble. Second shot for Kamaroth. He missed the first, he missed the second. Offensive rebound, though, Edding for Wabash, but stolen right away by J.J. Woodson, all the way down with a running right-hander, and it's in. Good job by J.J. Woodson. And it's 2-0 in favor of Hiram Opening minute of play, and Woodson knocks the ball out of bounds. Out of the outreach of Edding. And it'll be a sideline inbound in the backcourt for Wabash. Trigger man on the inbound will be Austin Burton. And Burton will lay it into the backcourt to Anton. Anton in the backcourt about to be doubled. Cross the timeline to Burton. Burton is doubled at midcourt looking for help. High post Camereth. Corner left Edding with a jump shot perfect. Three-pointer for Casey Edding. 3-2 in favor of Wabash. And a high rim Austin Recolt will come into the forecourt. Top of the key, Jeremiah Thomas. Left-hand side now, J.J. Woodson to Josh Edmondson. Back to Woodson. Woodson to Thomas. 2-3 zone here by Wabash. Low right, Kelvin Jones. Edmondson in the corner. Throws up the three. Off the iron, no. Tipped on the interior and controlled by Burton of Wabash. Midcourt pass to Anton. Anton comes forecourt. Low entry inside. When that guy gets it into scoring range, Pavlidis will put it through, and he did there. And it's 5-2 in favor of Wabash. Caspio getting ready to come in. The 6'8" player for Hiram getting ready to come into the game. He's a sophomore. Hiram outside, moving the ball around the perimeter. Thomas. Thomas against the Wabash zone. Corner right, Edmondson. Edmondson on the dribble, tries to punch it low to Thomas, knocked in the air. And Anton picks up the loose ball for Wabash. He comes right to left. Corner right, long jump shot for Burton, no. Tipped out of bounds by Camereth of Wabash. And Hiram has it back. Deckard comes in along with Caspio. Edmondson goes out and Thomas goes out for the Hiram team. They've lost 5 of their last 6, and no one is up court to help them get it in. And now Recolt will go on the inbound to J.J. Woodson. Recolt, Woodson, Deckard, Jones, and Caspio for Hiram right now. Low left-hand side to Joe Caspio, the 6'8" sophomore. Caspio, baseline jumper over the iron, no good. Rebound controlled on the baseline by Edding for Wabash. Off to Anton. Anton comes into the forecourt. Cross court, there's Edding. Edding right side to the baseline against Caspio. Throws it into the corner and tipped out of bounds by Austin Recolt. It'll be a baseline inbound for Wabash. And Anton will be the trigger man on the inbound. 17:37. Go first half here. 5-2 is our score in favor of Wabash. Anton will look, throw it into the corner to Camereth. Lays it, tipped and a steal by J.J. Woodson of Hiram. Into the lane on the run. Kelvin Jones didn't get it, but he was fouled. And Jones has a couple of free throws coming. That was a nice little 3-on-1 break that time by Hiram, and Woodson got it to Jones in the scoring zone, and Jones got hacked and fouled. Foul on Camereth of Wabash, and Calvin Jones will go line right for free throws. 60% free throw shooter for the left-handed freshman, and it's in. He'll have a second shot. 5-3 in favor of Wabash. And the second shot short, no good. Tipped on the inside, and Camereth has it this time for Wabash. Daniel Schofield out of action. I see him sitting in sweats behind the Wabash bench tonight. Out front with a basketball. Austin Burton for Wabash goes to the right-hand side, and it's tipped out of bounds by J.J. Woodson of Hiram. 5-3 in favor of Wabash. And it'll be Edding on the inbound here, and he'll go to the backcourt to Kyle Anton. Anton, the point guard, off to Burton. Austin Burton into the forecourt. Here's Anton into the lane with a soft right-hander missed, and it comes out of there to J.J. Woodson. Woodson's going to stop and pop a triple shot. Short, no good. Comes out of there, and Burton runs it down for Wabash. Burton into the forecourt. Ball tipped for a moment by Deckard, but run down by Anton. Wing right, Edding for the triple. Perfect. Three-pointer for him, and it's 8-3 in favor of Wabash. Woodson in the backcourt to Austin Recolt. Recolt will come across the timeline. 16:30 and spinning in our first half. Deckard to Woodson. Woodson on the right-hand side. Hand off to Deckard. Deckard not bashful in the shooting department. Recall back to Woodson. Shot clock at 15 seconds. Woodson on the dribble. Hand off to Joe Caspio. High post, Jones. Jones to Woodson on the right wing. Woodson trying to shake loose, can't do it. Caspio, low right, works inside with a left-handed jump hook, no. Tip Caspio, and an over the back foul on Caspio. And Wabash has the basketball back. Leading 8-3. And right to left will come Wabash. Getting ready to come in now for Hiram is Jansen Locke, freshman guard from Minerva. Across the timeline comes Burton for Wabash. Man-to-man defense being employed by Hiram. 8-3 Wabash with a lead. Anton on the left-hand side, one-on-one against Recalt. Goes on the wing here to Edding. Low inside. Pervlesis up and through. Check it, that was Kamarath, the 6'9" sophomore center. And he gets the bucket. 10-3 Wabash now. Left sideline with a basketball. Deckard into the corner. Caspio back to Kelvin Jones off his knee. Turnover. Woodson checks out. In comes Locke. And Coach Kibler not happy on the sidelines for Hiram. Inbound here to Anton for Wabash. 10-3 is our score in favor of Wabash right now. And nearly a steal at midcourt by Recall, and then Anton's going to get called because Recall knocked it away, and then Anton pushed him away with the hand, and he gets called for the personal foul. Now in is Houston Hodges for Wabash, replacing Anton. So Houston Hodges comes into the game for Wabash. 10-3, Little Giants leading here. Right-hand sideline with a basketball, Deckard. Jones, round the perimeter, Recall, back to Deckard. Deckard, Recall, drives, dumps it to Caspio. Beyond his reach, and he tried to save it. It goes right inbounds to Hodges. Hodges for Wabash, corner left, Edding for the jump shot, perfect. Boy, he's hit all three of his shots. Timeout is whistled by Hiram. And Wabash gets the bucket in. And it's 13-3 in favor of Wabash on Edding's third three-pointer. So, wow. 13-3 Wabash timeout. 14:52 left in our first half of play. And Coach Chris Kibler will take a timeout and talk about things. Not happy on the sidelines right now. After the timeout, it is Deckard, Recall. Check it. Deckard, Locke, Jones, Recall, Caspio right now for Hiram. Wabash leading by 10, 13-3. Forecourt comes Hiram. Locke, Deckard, Recalled around the perimeter. Locke, high post, Caspio. Caspio, glass, no good. Caspio gets the offensive rebound. Out front, flares at Jansen Locke for the jump shot. Strong, no good. Rebound inside, controlled by Pervlesis. Pervlesis ahead of the pack. Burton, low left-hand side, Kamarath backs in against Jones. Tried to punch it inside to Pervlesis. Beyond him, turnover. And now for Wabash, coming into the game is Travis Wilson, 6'9" senior center, replacing Kamarath. 13-3, and now Recall checks out of the contest, and into the game comes Zeltowski for Hiram, and he has shown the ability in the past to hit the jump shots. Joe Zeltowski. Out front, Locke, Deckard, long jump shot, good for three. It's good when he gets going early because he can really spread out the opposing defenses. 13-6. Wabash comes with Anton into the forecourt. Anton around the perimeter. Hodges to the right-hand side of the dribble. Nothing there. Back top of the key to Anton. Anton backs up against Zeltowski to the right-hand side. Anton, nothing available there. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Anton on the dribble, fadeaway 12-footer, no good. Tipped and a rebound, Jones. Jones, Zeltoski. Zeltoski into the forecourt on the dribble. Looks right, now he's open for the top of the key, in and out. Boy, that one went down a little bit, decided to come on out of there. Tough break. 13-10 to go in the first half. It's a 7-point Wabash lead. Inside to Pervlisis on a nice lay-in that time with the right hand. And it's 15-6 in favor of Wabash. Again into the forecourt, Deckard. Deckard to Locke for Hiram. Locke, Zeltoski. Zeltoski looking low. Looking low. There's Caspio inside. Glass inside, no good. Caspio just can't get the ball to go into the cup. He's had some good looks. Into the court comes Wabash. On the dribble drive, it is Hodges. Hodges on the right sideline to Anton. Anton top of the key, back to Hodges. Low inside, ball knocked away nicely by Jones and picked up by Kyle Deckard of Hiram. Deckard forecourt pops a long one in and out. Rebound controlled by Wilson of Wabash. Foul in the backcourt on Hiram. Caspio saying he needs a breather. And here comes Thomas. Back in, Jeremiah Thomas in, Ray Gaston comes in. Both those players give you some length on the defensive end for sure. Gaston has some good shot blocking ability. 15-6, 12-20 to go in our first half as Hodges comes forecourt for Wabash to the left-hand side. Out front, top of the key, Anton. Anton back on the right-hand side with the basketball. It's Zach Patton who's come in. Patton inside, Pervlisis. Back out front to Hodges. Shot clock at 10. Hodges top of the key. Hodges on the right side. Rounded his defender, wide open for a layup. Nice pick there by Travis Wilson for Wabash. 11-point lead for the Little Giants. Forecourt comes Hiram in a hurry. Zeltoski to Locke. High post, Jeremiah Thomas, jump shot, no. Gaston up high with a Hiram rebound. Zeltoski for the three, no good. And rebound controlled by Patton of Wabash. Off to Anton. Anton into the forecourt around his defenders. Wilson, Patton, inside Pervlisis, up and through. Easy lay-in that time for Wabash. 19-6 as Sterling Sanders, the guard, getting ready to come in. Thomas, Locke outside. Locke, Zeltoski. High post, Thomas. Thomas a couple dribbles, 12-footer, perfect. Jeremiah Thomas gets his first points of the game. 19-8, Wabash by 11. 10:55 to go in the first half. Into the forecourt now comes Wabash, Hodges. Hodges on the right sideline on the dribble with the left hand. Out front, Anton. Anton to Patton. Patton to Anton around the three-point arc. Into the lane, Pervlisis. Nothing there. Back to Hodges. Shot clock on the left-hand side. Hodges down to 8. Hodges around his defenders. Scoop shot, no good. Rebound, Jeremiah Thomas for Hiram. Thomas will dribble into the forecourt. Looks for a mate. There's Zeltoski. Throws it corner right over the head of Locke. Turnover that time. And now Wabash will bring Kamarath back into the contest and Burton back in. Hiram will bring Sterling Sanders into the contest at a guard spot. So does Deckard, Sanders, Thomas, Gaston, and Zeltoski on the court right now for Hiram. Hiram down 11. Anton with a long jump shot, no. Tipped out front. Zeltoski runs it down. Feeds a streaking Deckard for the layup for 2. Good hustle on both ends that time. Zeltoski to get the save and Deckard with the bucket. 19-10, Wabash by 9. Anton forecourt to Zach Patton for the Little Giants. Out front it goes to Burton, Austin Burton. Bounce pass, Kamarath backing in against Gaston, bucket and a foul. Kamarath, big strong guy, 6'9". He got the position, nice soft turnaround, and drew the foul on Ray Gaston. So Kamarath will go line left. Tomorrow, Wabash will make the trip on over and take on Allegheny in Meadville, Pennsylvania, while tomorrow DePaul is right here at Price Gymnasium. DePauw's 500 in the North Coast Athletic Conference. Kamarath makes the free throw, and now Zeltoski goes out. Young freshman that I like his game, Jake Williams from Akron, Ellet High School, comes in. He goes 6'4" and plays the wing, battles the glass. Every time he gets in there, he kind of makes some things happen for Hiram. Sanders out front of the dribble. Jake Williams on the right sideline. Thomas, Sanders, Woodson's back in. Back to Sanders, launches a three, strong, no good. Rebound Kamarath for Wabash. Back court it goes to Zach Patton, who comes forecourt with 9:10 to go in the half. Patton into the forecourt, left sideline. Burton between the circles against a 2-3 zone. Burton on the right-hand wing. Burton on the dribble with the left hand. Back out front to Anton. Anton one-on-one against Sanders. Gets a pick. Inside Kamarath, left-handed jump hook, no good. And the rebound on the baseline controlled by Jeremiah Thomas of Hiram off to Sanders, who streaks left to right. Back to Thomas, into the lane with a scoop shot, no, but a foul. Good athletic play that time by Jeremiah Thomas. Getting in there, drawing the foul, and he has free throws coming. Travis Wilson, 6'9", getting ready to come back in for Wabash, and Kelvin Jones getting ready to re-enter for Hiram. Thomas's free throw, no good. Wilson in, Kamarath out for Wabash. And the second shot coming. For Thomas, and that one's short, no good. Rebound Pavlidis for Wabash. Backcourt to Anton. 8:35 to go in the first half of play. 22-10 in favor of Wabash. Into the lane, Burton to Anton. Anton on the right-hand side, back to Burton. Burton up on ball, knocked away momentarily. Right back into the hands of Burton. Shot clock at 12. Burton right-hand sideline pass. Anton pump fake. Baseline maneuver, shot no, but a foul. Foul on the interior against Hiram. And we've got a couple of free throws coming for Kyle Anton. And this guy's a 91% free throw shooter. Wrong guy to have there. Red jerseys for Wabash. First free throw in. Jones in for Hiram, replacing Gaston. And Edding back in for Wabash, replacing Patton. Second shot, good. 23-10 in favor of Wabash. Make it 24-10 Wabash. 8:10 to go in the first half of play. 14-point advantage for these little Giants. First time these two teams met, it was double overtime in Indiana before Wabash won. Zeltoski traveled with those feet. Can't shake left and shake right in this game. And Josh Edmondson back in, replacing Jake Williams. It was Jake Williams, not Zeltoski, who did the turnover. Right to left will come Wabash. On the dribble, Anton for the little Giants. Out front between the circles. Left sideline pass. Burton. Austin Burton on the dribble. Pavlidis, they tried to get him to him. Jeremiah Thomas knocks it out of bounds nicely. With 7:48 to go in the first half of play. Inbound baseline left for Anton. Anton looks and goes to Burton. Burton back out front between the circles. Edding against Woodson. Edding to the baseline, then bangs it off Woodson's leg. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Deckard in. Sanders out for Hiram. Coach Kibler digging into most of that bench here in the first half of play. Baseline left inbound Anton. Goes to Pavlidis. Into the corner Anton. Shot clock at 5. Anton top of the key. Bounce pass Pavlidis. Fadeaway jump shot. Strong, no good. Tipped out front, and Wabash will get a fresh shot clock. 7:20 to go in the half. Out front Anton. High post left-hand side Pavlidis. Lays it to Wilson. Wilson inside Pavlidis. Underneath layup. Blocked nicely by Woodson of Hiram. Picked up by the Terriers, Kyle Deckard. Deckard into the forecourt. Lays it to Woodson. Woodson spins to the right-hand wing here. Woodson way out front to Deckard. Shot clock at 22. Game clock now 6:55 to go in the half. Hiram down 14. Edmondson right side, J.J. Woodson. Woodson into the lane. Thomas with a left hand off the window and in. Good look by Woodson to find Thomas. 24-12. On the inbound in the backcourt, it is Edding for Wabash. Bounces it to Burton. Burton across the timeline against Deckard. Burton out front, center circle between the circles. Left-hand side, Anton. Anton, the steady point guard on the dribble. Lays it to the left-hand side to Edding. Edding with a nice shot. He's at three-pointers in the half. Anton jumps and shoots and misses. Offensive rebound. Pavlidis, good, and a foul. He went way up high for that rebound and got the bucket in. And we mentioned in the pregame, the guy is shooting 67% from the floor. And he gets the ball around the hoop. It's going to go in, and he put that one in and drew the foul. Thomas checks out. Caspio in for Hiram. And Hodges, Houston Hodges, back in for Wabash as well. Line left, Pavlidis. Free throw up and good. Rattled it in. Ironically, he shoots only 46% from the free throw line, which is really unusual. 27-12. Left-hand side three ball is up and good by J.J. Woodson for Hiram. We could use a lot more of that. Down now 12. Hodges will come into the forecourt with 6 minutes to go in our first half. Ray Horner with you. HiramTerriers.com. The women of Hiram lost in the first game here tonight to Wittenberg. And now we're into the second game with Wabash's men and Hiram. Houston Hodges' shot is deflected away. Picked up by Kelvin Jones of Hiram. Off to J.J. Woodson. Down the lane. Blocked beautifully by Pavlidis of Wabash. Picked up by Houston Hodges for the Little Giants. Comes forecourt. Edding for three. Boom. Boy, he hasn't missed. He's hit four now. 30-15 in favor of Wabash. And a timeout called by the Hiram Terriers. 30-15 is our score. 5:28 to go in our first half of play. Our next broadcast, by the way, HiramTerriers.com. It's coming up on February 18th. A men's-women's doubleheader against the Big Red of Denison. And I'll be right here for all the play-by-play on that Wednesday night. A women's game at 6 and the men's game at 8 o'clock. After the timeout, Hiram comes out with Caspio. Caspio has had some nice looks on the inside. He goes 6'8". And his shots just don't seem to go in. They go right around and off. Into the forecourt comes Edmondson. Right sideline, Deckard to the top of the elbow, back to J.J. Woodson. 5:15 until halftime. Woodson, Deckard, corner right, Edmondson, good swish from three range. Nice play out of the timeout there by Coach Kibler. The other end, Edding's going to challenge Caspio, didn't get it. Rebound Edmondson for Hiram, up to Woodson. Woodson on the dribble drive into the lane with a right hand, good. So quickly a 5-point run there by Hiram with that athleticism. And they cut that lead down to 10 at 30-20 right there. The big bucket by Edmondson, and then the transition game to Woodson. And it's a 10-point game with 4:56 until halftime. Woodson has 5 points right now, as does Kyle Deckard. And Jeremiah Thomas has 40. Hiram shooting 32% from the floor. Wabash shooting 52% from the floor. Each team with 5 turnovers. And on the rebounding side right now, it is Wabash out rebounding us 16-10. And that's something Wabash has done throughout the season. They're a +8 on the rebounding stat for the season against their opponents. So traditionally, game in, game out, Wabash does a good job on the glass. Here comes Houston Hodges on the dribble right to left for the Little Giants. Hodges into the forecourt. Guys, high post right side Pavlidis. Back to Edding. Right side, there's Pavlidis inside, doubled, a strip and a steal by J.J. Woodson. Woodson for Hiram, left to right. Woodson all the way down to the baseline forecourt. Goes to Kyle Deckard, back to Woodson. Woodson on the right side, tries to get inside, throws it wing left to Edmondson. Edmondson beyond the arc to Woodson way out front. Nothing available there, shot clock at 15 seconds. Game clock 4:15 and a half. Edmondson, low left Caspio on the baseline, underneath layup, good for Joe Caspio. So he gets one in, and it's 30-22 in favor of Wittenberg, or I should say Wabash. Here comes Houston Hodges, forecourt for the Little Giants. Edding on the wing right, Pavlidis into the corner, back to Edding, back to Pavlidis, knocked away, and another steal for Hiram. Edmondson feeds it to streaking Deckard. Deckard on the right-hand side, back into the corner. Open, Edmondson, good from three. Hiram's got fire, and they have this thing all the way down to 5 now at 30-25. Anton right side, Burton eyes it up, shoots, misses, and Deckard with a Hiram rebound. Deckard will come left to right with 3:25 until halftime. Woodson Deckard way out front. 30-25, Wabash. High post, Jones in the middle, spins with the left hand, 2 points. Pretty move by the freshman, and it's 30-27. Timeout, Wabash. So this group is clicking out there right now. Transition game with Woodson and Edmondson's come off the bench to hit some key shots. Even Caspio with an underneath layup, and Jones with a nice little wheel in the lane. And we've got it down to 3 with 3:14 until halftime. Impressive little run here by the Hiram Terriers. Trying to snap a losing streak. They've lost 4 games in a row, 5 of their last 6. After the timeout, Wabash comes out with Pavlidis, Anton, Edding, Burton, and Hodges. Hiram with Deckard, Edmondson, Woodson, Jones, and Thomas back in for Caspio. On the inbound, Edding for Wabash. 3:10 until halftime, a 3-point game. Little Giants with a lead. They've had a double-digit lead for much of the half. Knockaway, Edmondson gets the steal, but they'll call a reach-in foul on senior Josh Edmondson. Team foul number 8, so we'll go to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. Zach Patton getting ready to come back in for Wabash, and he does, replacing Anton. Line left is Casey Edding. 71% free throw shooter, and he's been lights out tonight from the floor, and he makes that one. Free throw in makes it 31-27. Edding now with 12 points here in the first half. Second shot coming for Edding. And that one's good. 32-27, Wabash by 5. 3 minutes to go in the first half of play. Edmondson across the timeline for Hiram. Looking at, looks to be a 2-3 zone by Wabash. Deckard, Edmondson, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Edmondson, top of the elbow, throws it underneath, and a complete steal that time by Pavlidis. There was no Hiram player there. Hodges, forecourt, Pavlidis, back to Hodges. Corner left, Burton. Burton into the corner, bounces it out front. Hodges to the right side, Edding from 3, short that time. Rebound, J.J. Woodson for Hiram. He'll look for transition here. Woodson left to right. Woodson out front to Deckard. And again, Wabash will settle into the zone. Woodson on the right sideline. Woodson with his team down 5. Corner left, Edmondson. Edmondson way out to Woodson. Shot clock at 15. Deckard, corner right, Jeremiah Thomas. Thomas back to Edmondson. Low right-hand side, Jones. Jones rifles at Woodson. Nice pass inside to Thomas. Missed the shot. Tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Jones. Good look that time to get him in that scoring area. He just missed the shot that time. But good ball work by the Hiram team. 1:55 to go in the half. Wabash leading 32-27. Is into the forecourt. Will come Houston Hodges for Wabash. Hodges on the right side. Hodges cross-court left-hand side. Baseline turnaround shot by Patton missed. The rebound, Jeremiah Thomas for Hiram. Off to J.J. Woodson. Almost lost it off his knee. Got it back. He's doubled on the right sideline. Way out to Edmondson. Shot clock just getting cranked up. Here's Woodson from long range. Good. J.J. Woodson for the three. 32-30. Hiram now down only 2. Forecourt Burton the other way. Jump shot missed. Rebound underneath Kelvin Jones. And he was on the hardwood. Tried to shuffle it out to one of his teammates, and it went out of bounds. And Wabash has it back. Anton in for Houston Hodges for Wabash. Sideline inbound for Zach Patton for the Little Giants. 70 seconds until halftime. A 2-point game. 32-30. Wabash with the lead. Out front, Anton for Wabash. Looks low. Out front, it goes inside Pavlidis. Rolling hook in the lane, missed it. Rebound controlled by Deckard of Hiram. Deckard races forecourt, stops and pops the three. Short, no good. Ricochets out front. Woodson has it. Free good. And Hiram's come back to grab a 33-32 lead with 40 seconds to go in the first half of play. What a shot by J.J. Woodson. Forecourt now comes Wabash. Edding, who was hot early, is cooled here. Down low, Pavlidis backs in. Double team, tied up. He falls down. Is he going to get bailed out with a foul here? Oh, boy. That was good defense in the low post by Kelvin Jones. They had Pavlidis completely tied up. Travis Wilson in for Wabash. He replaces Zach Patton. 33-32 in favor of Hiram. Free throw line left, Pavlidis. 1-1. Was he no good. They're calling a lane violation against Hiram. So Pavlidis, who missed, will have 2 shots again. Ray Gaston getting ready to come in for Hiram. Pavlidis shot. Good. Gaston in, Jones out. Good substitution there with him with those 2 personal fouls. Don't want him to pick up that third in the final 26 seconds of the half. Second shot coming for Pavlidis. And that one's missed. Rebound, Jeremiah Thomas. Tied at 33. 20 seconds to go in the half. Kyle Deckard comes forecourt for Hiram to Josh Edmondson. Edmondson drives to the foul line to the right-hand wing. Throws it high post. Woodson quickly jump on him. Back to Deckard. Game clock at 7 seconds. Woodson right side 3, around and off. Rebound Pavlidis underneath. Flares it out to Anton, and the half is done. Well, the first time these two teams met, it went double overtime before Wabash won in Indiana. Well, here at the end of the first half, we're tied at 33. Hiram 33, Wabash 33. Little Giants had a double-digit lead in that first half. Credit our Terriers for coming on back. I'm Ray Horner, HiramTerriers.com. We'll come back, halftime stats in the second half in just a little bit on HiramTerriers.com. All right, we're ready to go for the second half in a very exciting first half in the men's basketball game here at Price Gymnasium, a game in which Wabash jumped out to a double-digit lead halfway through the first half, but the credit our Terriers, we came roaring back, and we're tied at 33 as we head into the second half of play. Wabash will start the second half with Kamarath, Anton, Edding, Pervlesis, and Burton. Hiram's still in their huddle, so we'll wait and see what they're going to start the second half run. They really made a nice run in the late stages of the second half with Caspio and Jones out there, with Woodson, Deckard, and Thomas. So they come out to start the second half, though, with Thomas, Recolt, Edmondson, Woodson, and Jones. Hiram shooting in the cup on the left-hand side, tied at 33 with Wabash. Left-hand sideline, J.J. Woodson. Woodson back out front to Josh Edmondson, who's had a nice game tonight. Edmondson got the start. He's had 6 points. J.J. Woodson into the corner right with the basketball. Woodson with 13 points in the first half. Thomas, left sideline, Austin Recolt to the baseline, reverse layup, 2 for the lead. 35 to 33. Hiram has the lead, the first lead of the game, as Anton comes forecourt for Wabash. Left sideline to Edding. Edding leading them in scoring. Speaking of the Little Giants with 14 points. Out front, Anton. Anton driving to the foul line, bottled up there. Bounces it to Kamarath, backing it against Jones. Left-handed jump hook, not even close. And Thomas with a Hiram rebound. Thomas off to Austin Recolt. Forecourt sideline right, Josh Edmondson. Edmondson on the dribble, backs it up between the circles, J.J. Woodson. 18:50 and running in the contest, just getting warmed up in the second half. Hiram with their first lead of the game at 35 to 33. Left sideline, Recolt inside to Calvin Jones. Jones backing in, wants to go hook. Left-handed shot, no good by Jones. Rebound, Kamarath for Wabash. Midcourt to Anton, and he lost it out of bounds. It'll be Hiram's basketball. Good pressure over there on the side by J.J. Woodson. Hiram will look to build on the lead. Recolt out front. Sideline left to J.J. Woodson. Into the corner, Jeremiah Thomas, running 10-footer, perfect. Thomas with a nice running right-hander. 37 to 33. Hiram now with a lead by 4. Anton into the forecourt for Wabash. Wabash in the red. Hiram in the white. Anton on the left sideline. Pushes it to the right-hand side now to Burton. Burton, Anton into the lane with a left-handed shot, Pervlesis. So the lead now for Hiram is 2. As into the forecourt comes Hiram again. Recolt out front to Edmondson. Edmondson to Thomas. Thomas to Woodson between the circles. Josh Edmondson into the corner left. Wabash playing that 2-3 zone into the lane to Thomas. Missed a shot, had a second opportunity. Knocked away by Kamarath. And a jump ball is called. And on the possession arrow, it belongs to Wabash. 2-point lead for Hiram, 37 to 35. 17-20 and rolling in the game. Edding gets the ball on the inbound all the way down, tries to shove it inside to Kamarath. Around his ankles, and the big fella just couldn't bend down there to get it. Hits his ankles and goes out of bounds. And Hiram gets the basketball back on the Wabash turnover now. Thomas on the inbound. He'll lay it to Austin Recolt. Recolt into the forecourt area on the dribble on the left sideline. Wabash staying zone. Thomas inside. Calvin Jones left-hander. Good. Good look by Thomas to the freshman. Jones puts it up and in. 39-35 now is our score in favor of Hiram, as Jones now has 3 points in the game. Pervlesis in the backcourt for Wabash. Off on the run to Burton. All the way down. Runner with the right hand. Glassing in. Nice drive by Austin Burton that time. And it's 39-37 in favor of Hiram by 2. Back on the offensive attack come our Terriers. Recall Thomas. Jeremiah Thomas out front. 1-3-1 zone by Wabash. Thomas off the glass and in. Jeremiah Thomas making things happen. He's got 8 points in the game. Hiram by 4 here. On the inbound, Anton for Wabash. Anton into the forecourt area with 16:10 to go. Etting comes right down to the baseline, and it's knocked out of bounds by Calvin Jones. Joe Caspio now coming in for Hiram. Played well at times in the first half. Jones out, Edmondson out. Deckard also coming in with Caspio. On the inbound on the baseline, Anton for Wabash. Corner right Etting inside. Pavlidis up and through with the right hand. They found Pavlidis in the low blocks, and he gets it in there. And the 6'7" junior will normally score. 41-39, Hiram by 2. 15:50 to go in the basketball game. Woodson on the right-hand side for the Hiram team. The guard looks, goes to Thomas at the foul line. Thomas spinning, pump fake, 12-footer around and off. Pavlidis with a rebound for Wabash. Off on the run comes Burton. Burton to the baseline, nothing available there. Dribbles underneath the bucket, back to the left-hand wing. Burton looking low. There's Pavlidis in the low blocks against Thomas. Back to Burton, left-hand corner jump shot, no. Comes out of there and a run down by Austin Recall of Hiram. Off on the run, the Woodson running right-hander in. 43-39 is our score now. A 4-point lead for Hiram with 15:10 to go in the basketball game. And into the forecourt area comes Wabash. Out front, it's Burton between the circles. Burton high post Anton. Anton to the left-hand side. Anton on the dribble, goes right side. Burton puts that left shoulder down, shot missed. Backside rebound, Cameron Anthony's hacked and fouled. And he'll have a couple of free throws coming his way. So free throws coming for Camarath. Trying to get into that lead. Line right, free throw, no good. Second shot coming for Camarath. That one's good. Right to left will come Sterling Sanders for Hiram. Sanders across the timeline. 3-point Hiram advantage with 14:40 to go in the basketball game. Out front, Woodson. Woodson to Thomas between the circles. Thomas back to Sterling Sanders. Shot clock at 15 seconds. Left side, Thomas. Thomas to Deckard. Deckard backdoor cut to Sanders. Sanders picks up his dribble, throws it back out front to Deckard. Shot clock at 5 seconds. Deckard right side, runner from the corner. Tough shot, got it! Wow, that was from the front row. 46-40. Hiram by 6. 14 minutes to play in the basketball game. Burton comes forecourt for the Little Giants. Corner right. It's Patton into the lane. Pavlidis, and he's hacked and fouled. Pavlidis had in a good position there to score. 3 Terriers surrounded him. And they're going to say a baseline inbound for the Little Giants. Good basketball game tonight at Price Gym. Remember, they played double overtime in Indiana when they played back in the first weekend in January. And in this game, Wabash jumped out to a double-digit lead. But Hiram has turned that round completely now, and now lead 46-40 with 13:51 to go in the game. Anton on the inbound, out front to Pavlidis. It goes to Austin Burton. Burton, nothing available there. High post, Camarath. Camera punches it inside to Pavlidis, and another pushing foul on Hiram. Jeremiah Thomas with a foul. Here comes Ray Gaston into the game for Hiram. Gaston in, Thomas out. Thomas has been playing very well on the offensive end in this second half. Inbound way out front to Pavlidis. Edding and Hodges getting ready to come in for Wabash. Right side, Anton into the corner for the Little Giants. Picks up his dribble. Throws it back out front to Burton. Burton on the dribble. Shot clock at 20. Anton hits a three-pointer from the right-hand side, and it's a three-point game. Here comes Hiram forecourt. Deckard fakes the handoff to Woodson. Deckard on the left-hand side on the dribble. Takes it to the corner. Stops. Pops. Good again. He was on the line that time, but Deckard is certainly feeling it here in the second half, the sophomore shooting guard. And Kyle Deckard right now has 10 points. Into the forecourt again comes Burton. Burton picks up his dribble. Back to Anton. Game clock at 12:45 to play. Into the lane. The ball's knocked away and stolen by J.J. Woodson. He's going to go against Burton to the bucket. Nobody drew a foul. So J.J. Woodson, the junior guard from Cleveland, will go to the free throw line left. Woodson with 15 points in the game. This will be his first trip to the free throw line. Edmondson getting ready to come in for Hiram. Hiram right now dead last in the NCAC with a 3-9 conference record, 9-10 overall. Free throw no good by Woodson. He'll have another. Woodson's a 65% free throw shooter. Edding and Hodges in. Patton and Burton check out for Wabash. 5-point advantage for Hiram. Second shot here for Woodson. Line left, and we missed them both. Pavlidis with the rebound for Wabash. Up to Houston Hodges into the forecourt for the Little Giants. Right sideline, Edding. Edding, who's shown us some good range. Offensive foul on a bad pick by Houston Hodges for Wabash. And that gets the ball back to Hiram. Josh Edmondson getting ready to come in. And now they'll bring Edmondson in, and Woodson will get a breather with 12:29 to play. Right to left comes Sterling Sanders, the guard for Hiram. Sanders across the timeline. To the right sideline it goes to Kyle Deckard. Gaston. Sanders. Edmondson to the right side. Gaston. Shot clock at 20. Deckard really feels it in the second half. Back to Edmondson. Baseline Caspio. Tried not a good pass that time by Caspio. Knocked away and almost stolen, but Sanders gets it back. Better watch out. Shot clock at 5 seconds. Sanders with a jump shot. Good! From 17 away for Sterling Sanders. 50-43. Hiram by 7. Left to right now comes Houston Hodges for Wabash. Right sideline pass to Edding. Edding, who was so hot early, hasn't been heard of in the second half, but he drives inside window, no, and a foul. And Casey Edding will go to the free throw line for Wabash, shooting 2. Edding from the free throw line on the season, 71% free throw shooter. Their best is Anton at 91%. Line right. These guys go to Pennsylvania to take on Allegheny tomorrow. Free throw spins around and in. Second shot coming for Edding. 50-44. Hiram by 6. Second shot in. 50-45 in favor of Hiram, as Sterling Sanders will come into the forecourt for the Terriers. Sanders pinned up out front. Gaston from 3. Good! So Ray Gaston steps out and buries a long one. And Hiram now has an 8-point lead. Remember, they trailed by double digits in the first half, and now they lead by 8. Anton comes into the forecourt for Wabash to Edding out front. Rifles at the Houston Hodges. And fighting for position, Gaston and Pavlidis. And it's going to be Gaston picking up a foul. Team foul number 5 on Hiram. And a baseline right inbound for Houston Hodges and Wabash. Lobs it to Pavlidis. Out front to Houston Hodges, right sideline heading, down low, Camarath, pump fake, shot, missed it, but he drew a foul on Caspio. And Camarath will go to the free throw line for a couple of tosses. 10:51 to go in the game. Hiram leading by 8, 53-45. And they've been hitting their jump shots lately. They're up to 54% from the floor. Camarath's shot is good. 53-46. Second shot coming for the 6'9" junior. Now Calvin Jones, 6'5" freshman, back in for Hiram, replacing Joe Caspio. And that one is in. 53-47. Our score in favor of Hiram at home. Kyle Deckard on the left sideline. Deckard on the dribble. Jones top of the elbow to Sterling Sanders. Sanders going to pop that long one, no good. Rebound Edding for Wabash. Off on the run, Houston Hodges for Wabash. Hodges low inside, Pavlidis up around the iron, no. Tipped up and in, nicely done by Camarath of Wabash. 53-49. Hiram's lead is now 4. They had it 8 moments ago. Deckard forecourt to Sanders. 10-10 to go in the basketball game. Wabash in a 1-3-1 zone. Deckard out front on the right-hand side. Deckard looks low, goes outside to Sanders. 15 seconds on the shot clock here. Deckard gets a pick from Gaston. Gaston's going to shoot a top of the key 3, and he hit another one. So Gaston's hit a couple big ones. 56-49, Hiram back by 7. Hodges forecourt. Pavlidis inside, puts that left shoulder down and spins it up and in. 56-51, and we have a timeout called. Coach Kibler saying, hey, put that shoulder down. It really went into our guy. Where's the offensive foul? But a timeout here on the hardwood. 56-51 is our score in favor of our Hiram Terriers, leading Wabash here in this contest at Price Gymnasium. Looking at our scores, 15 points for J.J. Woodson, 10 points for Kyle Deckard. That leads us. On the rebounding side, 7 rebounds for Jeremiah Thomas to go with his 8 points. For Wabash tonight, 16 each for Casey Edding and Daniel Pavlidis, and then 10 points for Marcus Camarath, who's getting the spot start tonight. 7 turnovers in the game is all for Hiram thus far. Wabash with 11. On the rebounding side, Wabash is a +6 on Hiram tonight. And from the floor, Hiram shooting 54%, while Wabash is shooting 55%. 9:36 to go in the basketball game. Hiram 56 and Wabash 51. Tomorrow afternoon, by the way, here at Price Gymnasium, the Terriers will play host to DePauw. And that's a 4 o'clock game right here at Price Gymnasium. So put that on your calendar. Ray Horner with you, HiramTerriers.com. Sanders, Deckard, Edmondson, Gaston, and Jones on the court for Hiram. Coach Kibler getting some nice production from some of the guys off the bench tonight. Sanders and Gaston playing well off the bench, as is Deckard. Deckard, Edmondson, top of the key, 3 shot, won't go in this time. Marcus Camarath with a rebound for Wabash. 9:10 to play. Houston Hodges, corner left to Anton, low left inside Pavlidis, inside on the baseline, up and good. He's got 18 points. 56-53, Hiram by 3. 8:55 to play in the game. Almost got to look to get Woodson back in here. Now he stands up on the bench. Sanders drives, window shot, no. Tip with the right hand by Ray Gaston, who's really giving this team a pickup here in the second half. 8 points off the bench in the half, and it's 58-53. Hiram has that lead back to a nickel with 8:35 to play. Houston Hodges comes forecourt for Wabash, and it gets knocked out of bounds. Into the game for Wabash, 6'9" Travis Wilson replacing Camarath, and J.J. Woodson comes in for Hiram for Josh Edmondson. Baseline left inbound. Pavlidis on the inbound. Out front to Anton. Anton on the dribble on the right side. Sanders doing a good job on him. Back out to Hodges to Anton. Anton trying to get the pick. Now they got the switch. Corner right, jump shot, perfect. Anton got a little daylight that time and buried it. 58-56 in favor of Hiram. Sanders comes into the forecourt on the dribble for Hiram with 8 minutes to go. Sanders drives, pinned up there, out front. Gaston's going to take another three. Boy, he's feeling it. He snapped in another one. Gaston with 11 points off the Hiram bench now. 61-56 in favor of the Hiram Terriers. Quite a night for Ray Gaston. Forecourt comes Hodges now for Wabash. Getting ready to come in as recalled for the Terriers. Out front, Edding. Edding to Anton. Into the lane. Ball knocked away. Still on loose on the court. Gaston picks it up to J.J. Woodson. Looks ahead to Gaston. Catch two and a foul. The defense started to go Woodson's way, and he said, Gaston, you take it. You're hot. And Raymond put it in. And it's up to a 7-point lead now for Hiram at 63-56. As Austin Recall comes in for Sterling Sanders for the Terriers. That was a good job by Woodson that time as he's on the break and he saw the defense really coming his way and went to the hot hand in Gaston and he put it in. So Gaston will try to convert the three-point play here. Get that lead to 8, and he missed that one. Rebound controlled by Edding of Wabash. 7-point advantage for Hiram. They lob it low, and it's tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Wittenberg on the attempted lob to Pavlidis. So Pavlidis couldn't get that one down. Here comes Deckard into the forecourt to Austin Recall. 7:10 to go in the basketball game. And Hiram leading here at home by 7. They lost to Wabash in Indiana January 3rd in double overtime. Recalled on the inbound. Recalled to the left-hand side. Drives, pinned up at the foul line. Lobs it back to Gaston, on over to Deckard. Deckard gets a pick from Gaston, still on the dribble. Shot clock at 15. Deckard almost lost it again. Recovers to Recall to Woodson in the left-hand corner. Woodson comes out, he's double teamed, splits the double team. Feeds it, Deckard, jump shot, no. With the rebound for Wabash, Pavlidis. Ball knocked away, Gaston almost gets the steal, and then Edding goes down, gets it, covers it up, and a jump ball is called. Now there's some bodies down, there's a little pushing and shoving going on. And quickly everything is separated and toned down. There's a timeout. What happened is the Wabash guy jumped on the ball, rolled over and called the timeout. So it's a timeout in Wabash's basketball. Full timeout by Wabash. 63-56 in favor of Hiram. With 6:40 to play in the basketball game. It looked like the tempers were going to get to the best of the players at that point, but the referees quickly got that all settled down. It's been some hot shooting here in the second half. Ray Gaston, 13 points in the game, all in the second half. Woodson has 15. Kyle Deckard has 10. But Gaston has been a big spark, hitting the long ball, driving to the bucket. It's given Hiram a 63-56 lead here with 6:40 to play in the basketball game. Here at Price Gymnasium, Ray Horner with you, HiramTerriers.com. And it'll be an inbound for Wabash right in front of their bench, just down to the right of us. And Edding will be the trigger man on the inbound. After the timeout, Gaston, Deckard, Woodson, Jones, and Recall. That's a pretty good offensive team out there for tonight anyways. Edding, Hodges, Burton, Pervlesis, and Kamarath on the court for Wabash. Coach Kibler still talking with the referees down on the hardwood. Getting an explanation, I think, of the timeout and how it was called. Now the officials are huddling together. And the coach over at Wabash in his first year, Kyle Brummett, he was over at Defiance for 6 years listening in, and now I think we're finally going to have some more basketball here. On the inbound, Edding into the backcourt to Houston Hodges. Hodges will come across the timeline between the circles. Hodges looks left and goes to the left-hand side, Edding. Edding gets a pick on the drive against Jones to the baseline. Pinned up, puts the shoulder, soft turnaround missed, and Woodson up high with a rebound for Hiram. Woodson trying to look for transition, can't find it. Out front, Deckard. Deckard, Gaston, long three, no good that time. He earned that shot. Rebound controlled by Houston Hodges. 6 minutes to go. Still a 7-point advantage for Hiram. Trying to snap a losing streak and get a nice home win here tonight. Left-hand sideline, Burton. Burton to Edding, into the lane. It's Kamarath, and he spins up, got it in against Jones and drew the foul. That was a very strong move that time by Marcus Kamarath, the junior center, 6'9". Went to the hole aggressively and drew the foul on Jones. 63-58 with 5:55 to go. Hiram leading by 5. Kamarath line right, and he missed the free throw. Jones with a one-handed rebound for Hiram. Jones to Austin Recolt. Recolt will come into the forecourt here, right to left, back to Kyle Deckard to Recolt. 2-3 zone now by Wabash. Left side Deckard, out front J.J. Woodson. Woodson Deckard aims from 3, got it! Kyle Deckard with a long bomber on that time. He's got 13 points. The lead is back to 66-58 for Hiram. Between the circles, Hodges now for Wabash. Pervlesis back on the right-hand side to Hodges. Burton now between the circles. Hodges looking low, goes to dribble in the lane. Bounce pass, Kamarath up and through. Good look that time for Wabash. It's a 66-60. Hiram advantage by 6. Woodson right down the lane with a reverse right-hander, no. Rebound controlled by Wabash. Houston Hodges out of there on the dribble. 4:50 to play. Hodges into the 4, double team. Kamarath into the lane and a reach-in foul on Jones on Pervlesis, who got some good position on the inside. And he'll go to the free throw line. He's a terrific scorer, great from the field, but not good at the free throw line. This guy shoots 67% from the floor. That's number 3, NCAA Division III. But from the free throw line, and he shoots a lot of free throws, he's only 46%. Doesn't make sense. Free throw up, and he got it. Joe Caspio, 6'8" sophomore, in for Jones. Kelvin Jones checks out of the lineup. Caspio, the sophomore, in. 4:49 to go. Hiram by 5. Second shot coming, Pavlidis. And that remark of the iron, missed it and tipped in a rebound control on the baseline by Kyle Deckard of Hiram. He comes up the right sideline on the dribble between the circles. Sheds it to Austin Recalled on the left-hand side. Recalled out front to Woodson. Woodson right side, jump shot short. Rolls on top of the glass and stays there. So now they got to get another basketball and get that darn thing down. Caught up there between the pipe and the backboard. Woodson can't get it on that one. And the referee does indeed get it. So 4:30 to go. Hiram leading by 5. Here comes Jeremiah Thomas back into the game. And he'll come in for Gaston, who did a terrific job for this team in the second half off the bench with 13 points. Hit some big spot up threes, got some rebounds. He was dynamic. Here comes Burton on the inbound, the Houston Hodges in the backcourt. Hodges, Burton, Edding, Pavlidis, and Kamarath on the court for Wabash. Houston Hodges comes to the right side. Ball tip, Pavlidis gets it back. He's doubled on the baseline. Backs in against Thomas. Backing in the lane. Nice dump low, up and in. Marcus Kamarath from Pavlidis. And it's 66-63. Hiram by 3 now with 3:55 to go. Recall comes forecourt. Jeremiah Thomas back to J.J. Woodson. Woodson out front between the circles. One bounce pass to Austin Recall. Recall sheds at left-hand side. Woodson to Thomas. Back to Woodson. Shot clock at 12. Woodson looking to create here in the key. Drives right around his defender and picked up the foul on Edding. And J.J. Woodson will go to the free throw line with 3:35 to play in the game. Hiram leading by 3, 66-63. Line left, Woodson. Woodson tonight with 15 points. First free throw shot around and in. And he's now 1 of 3 at the free throw line. Second shot coming. 4-point advantage here for Hiram. And that one's up and in. 68-63. Hiram by 5. Wabash with 3.5 minutes to go. Here comes Houston Hodges into the forecourt. Knocked away from behind. Almost stolen. Bodies go flying into the Wabash bench. Deckard and Woodson. Recall. Hodges over there. Glad everybody's okay. Wabash will inbound in the forecourt. 3:27 to go. Edding will inbound to Hodges. Hodges to Edding on the right sideline. Caspio and Kamarath really battling. Edding with a soft turnaround 12-footer is perfect. 68-65 and a knockaway and a steal by Burton on the inbound for Wabash. Out front Hodges. Hodges cross-court Edding. Edding in the lane. Pavlidis, jump shot, strong, rolls off, high with a rebound. Woodson battling with it is Kamarath. And what are they going to say? Jump ball, and it's Hiram's basketball in the possession arrow. Physical game here tonight at Price Gymnasium with 2:57 to go. And I think Coach Kibler wants to take a timeout. So 2:57 left in this one. 68-65 in favor of our Hiram Terriers. They were down by double digits in the first half. They've come back. Their largest lead has been 8. They now lead by 3. More basketball in just a moment. So 2:57 is what we have left here at Price Gymnasium. By the way, tomorrow these Terriers right back here at 4 o'clock taking on DePauw for some afternoon basketball. Check out the Terriers if your schedule is clear. After the timeout, Gaston comes back in. So it is Recall, Deckard, Gaston, Woodson, and Jones on the court for Hiram. Gaston has been instrumental in this comeback in this second half. He's had 13 points off the bench all in the second half. Here comes Recall into the forecourt now. 2:45 to play. Hiram by 3. Recall left sideline to J.J. Woodson. Woodson with the basketball, looking to get a pick from Jones. Can't get it. Passes to Jones at the foul line. Jones hand off to Woodson. Woodson on the dribble drive. Back to Deckard. Deckard wanted it. Didn't take it. Burton was right on him. Shot clock at 5 seconds. Now Deckard in trouble. Lays it. Woodson. Woodson trying to get the shot off. 2 seconds. 1. Flips it up. No. And the shot clock violation against Hiram. Good defense that time by Wabash. Here comes Edmondson into the contest for Hiram, and he'll replace Kyle Deckard. 2:22 to go. 3-point lead for Hiram. Burton on the inbound to Edding. Edding in the backcourt here. Off the Houston Hodges. The senior Edmondson locks up on him. Across the timeline comes Hodges. 2:10 to play. Hiram by 3. Hodges on the right sideline. Burton drives around him up and no. Tipped inside, no. Tipped again inside. It comes out of there. And it's run down by Woodson of Hiram. 1:55 to play in the basketball game. Hiram with possession and the clock ticking down. Recalled out front at center circle forecourt. 3-point advantage for Hiram. 1:40 to play. Bucket here is gigantic. Woodson to Jones, top of the elbow. Freshman Jones, one dribble, handoff to Recalled. Recalled at the elbow, back to Woodson, shot clock down again. 6 seconds here for Woodson. Down to 4 seconds. Woodson down the lane, twirls it up, and he was bailed out with a foul. And he might be hurt. No, I'm not sure. He stays, went to get up, now he's staying down. And now he's rolling over. And let's see, he's going to get up, and I think he's okay, which is good news for the Terriers. J.J. Woodson will go free throw line left. He has 2 shots coming. And boy, he was really bailed out. He was just throwing that thing up with the shot clock expiring. And now they're talking about the shot clock expiring before the foul. And they're explaining now to Coach Kyle Brummett over here for Wabash. And what are they going to do here? 1:26 to play. Hiram by 3. They have had a lot of discussions tonight. This 3-man crew has had. And I think when it's all said and done, Woodson's going to have free throws. Deckard's going to come in. And he's going to come in for Woodson. And he's going to have to shoot the free throws, because Woodson is not sure how that all transpired. Maybe because he stayed down and slowed down play. I'm not sure. No, Gaston's going to shoot the free throws. But Woodson was shooting. Gaston's free throw around the iron and off. Ray Gaston this year from the free throw line, 41%. Woodson is a 65% free throw shooter. That stings a little bit. Let's see if we can get this one in. Got it. Good. That makes it a 4-point game now, so it's a 2-possession game. That was a big one. 1:26 to play, 69-65. Hiram with the lead. 1:23 to play. Burton comes into the forecourt on the dribble. Ball knocked away momentarily. Edding picks it back up for Wabash. Off the Houston Hodges. 70 seconds to play in the game. Hodges out front. Hiram leading by 4. Edding, Pavlidis, back to Edding. Inside Pavlidis, shot up, no good. Tips around and controlled by Kyle Deckard for Hiram. Deckard to Ricoult, up the left sideline to Edmondson. 52 seconds to go. Gaston inside is going to go to the bucket here. Threw it up, no. And he drew a foul. And you can see Coach Kibler, we should have pulled that out, get the ball in the hands of Deckard and Ricoult, your free throw shooters, and work the time a little bit. You're leading by 4 here. Now we got free throws coming for Gaston. He's got 2. Woodson getting ready to come back in, as is Jeremiah Thomas. Free throw line left for Ray Gaston. Up, around, and in. What a game for him. 15 points off the bench. Second shot coming for Gaston. And that one short, rolls off. And a foul on the inside on Jones, holding Pavlidis. So Jones picks up foul number 5. He's done. So he's out of there. So let's see who Coach Kibler will bring in with Jones's availability now gone. Looks like Thomas might be coming in. 70-65. Still a 2-possession game here. Hiram leading by a nickel with 46 seconds to play. And now they said you got your 60 seconds, so they're putting Thomas in for Jones. So after the timeout there, you got Edmondson, Thomas, Woodson, Gaston, and Austin Ricoult. Deckard is a 70% free throw shooter. He's over on the bench. Ricoult just a 61% free throw shooter. We got free throws coming for Daniel Pavlidis, and he struggles at the line, even though he's one terrific player. 19 points for him. Line right, 6'7" junior. Eyes it up, gets it. Makes it a 4-point game. One more to come. Second shot for Pavlidis. Here comes Deckard in. That makes sense to me. Oh, lane violation. Yeah. Thomas went into the lane too early, or I should say Gaston. So Pavlidis is going to get another shot here. Edmondson out, Deckard in. 46 seconds to go. Pavlidis gets a second shot on his second attempt, and a timeout called by Wabash. 70-66. Hiram leading by 4. And this has been a very good basketball game. Wabash came out heading everything in sight early and ran out to a 12-point lead. But then Hiram started to get their feet under them, and by halftime, we were tied at 33. And in the second half, it's been back and forth. Hiram built up an 8-point lead here in the second half, and now they currently lead by 4 with 46 seconds to play in the game. Wabash playing without one of their starters tonight, Daniel Schofield. And Hiram with J.J. Harrington out of the lineup with a foot injury. It looks like he'll go with Thomas, Gaston, Ricoult, Woodson, and Deckard. So here we go. Those are rings. Oh, Caspio's going to come back in. And Caspio's going to come in. Maybe not. He went to the scorer's table, but he's not coming in. I think they changed their mind. So after the timeout, we'll go back to the free throw line. with Pervlesis. He's got a second shot coming. It's a 4-point game with 47 seconds to go in the game. Hiram leading by 4. Pervlesis line right in the red. Hiram in the white, red, and blue uniforms. Pervlesis' free throw strong, no good, and up high. Woodson with a Hiram rebound. Woodson comes racing into the forecourt on the right sideline here. He's double teamed, and I think we have a timeout called by Hiram. Boy, did Woodson get way in the air that time. My goodness, he went up high with that left-handed rebound. 40 seconds to go. Timeout called by Hiram. Looking at fouls, Wabash has 16 fouls, so that means the next foul will put Hiram at the free throw line. And you have a feeling these Terriers, these young Terriers, are going to have to win this game at the free throw line. Here comes Caspio back in for Hiram, replacing Ray Gaston. So you'll have Thomas, Caspio, Deckert, Ricolt, and Woodson. The women lost earlier tonight in a game against Wittenberg that we had for you here on HiramTerriers.com. Our next broadcast, I'll be here on February 18th for a Wednesday night doubleheader with the men and the women taking on the Big Red of Denison that night. So looking forward to that doubleheader with you. So after the timeout, Hiram comes out. They'll have a four-court inbound with 40 seconds to play. Thomas to inbound to Caspio, and he's immediately fouled. So Joe Caspio is going to go to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. Caspio's a 46% free throw shooter, just 5 of 11 this year. And the big 6'8" sophomore left-hander is going to have an opportunity here to nail it down. Let's hope he does. 39 seconds to go. His first shot around and in. Good hit by Caspio. 71-66 Hiram. Second shot for Caspio. That one's up and a little straight and no good. Rebound Edding for Wabash. Clock a factor here. Down to 30 seconds to go. Houston Hodges comes forecourt. Hand off to Ayton. Ayton into the lane, and what do we have? And we have a pushing foul on Woodson of Hiram. That's team foul number 10. Double bonus time now for Kyle Ayton. Ayton will go line right. Here comes Zoltowski into the game. Free throw good by Ayton. He's a 90% free throw shooter. Caspio out. Into the game comes Joe Zoltowski. Second shot by Ayton is in. 71-68. Hiram by 3. 28 seconds to go. On the inbound to Deckard. Knock away by Hodges and a steal by Wabash. Ayton calls a timeout. And Wabash has the basketball back on the defensive steal. So, the steal by Wabash gives them the ball with 22 seconds to go. Hiram leading by 3, 71-68, and Caspio comes back in. Gaston comes back in. So maybe Caspio's not in. Caspio keeps running to the scorer's table. So it looks like it'll be Thomas, Gaston, Ricolt, Woodson, and Deckard after this timeout. Keep in mind, Wabash needs a 3 for a tie. Good basketball game tonight. Okay, after the timeout, we're set. It'll be a baseline right inbound for Wabash. Hiram leading by 3 with 22 seconds to go. Baseline right inbound. Anton and Edding are the two guys for the three-point range. The lob on the inbound. Pervlesis on the inbound, back to Edding. Here's Edding for the triple, no good. Comes out of there. Ayton picks it up. Ayton against Woodson with 10 seconds to go. Houston Hodges. Ayton again. Pump fake. Three-point shot around and off. Tip Pervlesis is good. 71-70. Timeout. Hiram by 1 with 2.3 seconds to go in the basketball game. So Ayton, I should say Edding, had a couple of opportunities there, and he's been dead-eye tonight. But both those shots rattle out. But they get the putback by Daniel Pervlesis, giving him 20 points. But Hiram still leading by 1 with 2.3 seconds to go in the basketball game. They'll have it inbound on the right-hand end. With 2.3, you could almost throw that thing up in the air. Three-quarters court, have the guys run down. You might be able to throw it downfield court, and by the time they would touch it and try to get it back into the full court area, I think the game would be done, but we'll wait and see what they do. Now you can bet your bottom dollar Wabash is putting one of their 6'9" guys on the ball down here. Let's see what we do. After the timeout, Zoltowski, Deckard, Woodson, Rico, and Thomas come out. Some pretty good ball handlers there. And Rico will be the trigger man on the inbound. And see, if I'm Rico, I'm just throwing it deep here, down to the other end. Let's see here. Rico will fire on the inbound. And he gets it to Thomas, who is immediately fouled. So Thomas will go to the other end for a 1-and-1 with 1.6 seconds to go in the basketball game. Hiram leading by 1. Thomas will go to the free throw line. He's zip of 2 at the line in the game. Thomas is one of our better free throw shooters, though, at 73%. But this is crunch time. You need 1 here. Of course, 1.6 seconds. It's going to be tough on Wabash to get it up there. Boy, what a nice comeback. Ray Gaston, tip the cap to you, young man. Terrific second half. Thomas, line left. Up, good. 72-70. Now, if he makes this one, even if Wabash throws up a desperation 3, you would have overtime. So this is a big shot here. Thomas. Next shot, missed it. Rebound Wabash. Here's the 3 for the win, and he got it! He got it from three-quarters court. And Wabash walks off with a win, 73-72. Seen everything. Wabash got the rebound on the missed free throw, and they turn around and chuck it up from the other foul line, and it swishes. My goodness. Wabash gets a win, 73-72. Wow. Can't believe that one. Looked like Hiram had the win, the missed free throw, but Houston Hodges picked it up, or was that Burton? I believe it was Burton. Austin Burton picked it up, took one dribble, and just fired it up, and it swished. And that's a difficult loss for the Terriers. 73-72, their 5th straight loss. That's a tough one to take. 9-11 overall now, 3-10 in the NCAC. Wabash goes to 8-5 overall and 13-7 in the North Coast Athletic Conference. Final score, Wabash 73, Hiram 72. I'm Ray Horner, HiramTerriers.com.